What's up, YouTube? It's Brendan from Market Makers. Sunday night, guys. Guys, not a whole lot in the price action, but I want to teach you one of the key concepts of what Wyckoff did, okay? Wyckoff wrote about the composite man. Let me introduce you to the composite man, okay? This was his part of his theory. It's part of his method for the Wyckoff price method, okay? All the fluctuations in the market and in all the various stocks should be studied as if they were the result of one man's operations. Let us call him the composite man, who, in theory, sits behind the scenes and manipulates the stocks to your disadvantage if you do not understand the game as he plays it, and to your great profit if you do understand it. That's why part of what I'm doing, guys, is teaching you the Wyckoff method, because it is an invaluable way to trade. And I was driving back to the ranch today. It was a 3-hour drive, and of course on my phone I get pop-ups based on what I watch, and a couple of videos popped up, and I want to show you a clip of one of the videos. It's from a very popular crypto TA guy, and I just want to show you exactly why it's important to understand the composite man and the Wyckoff method. Okay, let's go ahead and look at this. His title, it's Crypto Kirby. His title is Game Over for Bitcoin Dump Update. He says the bear market's here on his thumbnail, okay? So let's go ahead and I just want to show you a brief clip of this. I'm not showing you this to throw shade. I want you to understand how much easier this would be to understand the price action if you understood the Wyckoff method, right? Watch particularly the areas that he circles, okay? Just watch the areas that he circles.
By that is that we're seeing sustained drops below the bottom band, and we're seeing sustained resistance at the top of the band. I mean, sure, at some point this will change. It's inevitable that this will change. But this is what you see in a changing trend. And until proven otherwise now, this is the trend that we have. And we really only dropped below the band once. That was over here, right? So we had it, we were trading towards the bottom of it, then we dropped below, and we had to await to see the response next time we tested up into the top half, right? To give us the true picture of what's going on. So we traded below. Up here, this was very hard to judge because yes, we did get into the top band, but did we really, right? How much weight were you putting on this? This was all just one move down. Very hard to put a ton of weight on that. We then dropped below. This here, folks, was the real, in my opinion, the first real confirmation, especially testing up into this red box range here and in the top half of the Keltner channel band, and then seeing the rejection, and not only seeing the rejection, but then dropping below the bottom half of the Keltner channel band again. This is serious now, in my opinion, right? So we have a clear-cut picture now until proven otherwise. The trend right now is bearish, in my opinion. We're dropping below the band, and right now, until proven otherwise, right, we should be expecting some potential resistance to come in if Bitcoin does bounce, right?
I think that's enough. I think you guys get the idea. So do you see the areas that he's circling? And then let's go look at our charts, guys. Let's look at our charts. What areas is he circling here? He is circling some key areas. And as you can see, let's go ahead and grab this. You see how much easier this TA is when you understand the price cycle of accumulation and distribution. He's circling this area right here, right? The preliminary test of support, the last test of supply, okay? And then he's circling the selling climax candle and the automatic reaction, okay? Or the secondary test, depending on where in his chart he was circling on the time frame. But he's showing you this as the key resistance and everything, saying, look how bearish this is. And then we went right down to here and dropped below the band. This is part of why I say you need to understand the price cycle, because if you understood the price cycle, you would know that Bitcoin has already repeated this exact same price cycle in accumulation, as we guys have talked about here. The exact same things he's circling over here. He's not aware that it happened already over here. Your preliminary test of support, your selling climax candle, your automatic reaction, all the areas he's circling, the down thrust, okay? This is all concerning. This is exactly what you need to understand, because remember, we're looking for this. We expect Bitcoin, based on what we have been covering here, based on the Wyckoff method, as you guys know, and this looks like our deepest down thrust right now. So we can go ahead and pull over our cutout, right? Let's pull over our cutout. Based on the Wyckoff method, the exact areas he's talking about where we're going to find resistance is where we expect to find resistance, because we want this to happen right here. We want the rollover because we want to repeat the same pattern, because this will be our type 2 reaction on a harmonic pattern and our Wyckoff spring up, okay? So now keep in mind, to be completely upfront, as you guys know, as I say this every single video, but I know we get new viewers all the time, we have to hold our key levels of support, okay? We hold our key levels of support. Obviously, if we fall out the bottom, people like Kirby will be like, see, I knew this was bad. This was all bearish. But what we're doing is actually repeating a pattern. This is why it's so important to understand the Wyckoff price cycle and to understand pattern recognition, and patterns repeat themselves. What's happening right now in YouTube, and you can see it on a bunch of different people, okay? If I scroll down here, you know, Four Flies, this is very bad. Bitcoin crash emergency, for 14,000 views from 5 hours ago. Kirby's got 22,000 views on his video. Everybody is bearish because they don't understand the Wyckoff price cycle. You guys understand the Wyckoff price cycle now from watching this. We don't have a reason to be bearish until if we lose key structural support. This is what it's supposed to look like. The composite man, the single man, the concept that Wyckoff came up with is a composite man. It's a single operator who's manipulating you to making bad decisions, okay? So what we want to see is Bitcoin do exactly what it's doing, do these down thrusts. We want to see it come up. We want to see it find that area of support, which it's supposed to do, because as you guys know, it already did it over here. It came up and found the area of resistance, the area of resistance, and rolled over. So the whole point of this is not to show you like, oh, this person's TA isn't good. I'm sure Kirby's TA is great. I don't watch his videos. I know he's a very popular YouTuber. So I'm sure his TA is great. But the point is, if you're unaware of the price method, if you're unaware of the Wyckoff price cycle, then you don't know what to look for, and you don't have the ability to recognize we literally did this exact same pattern already, step for step, as we were going along. Obviously, we haven't done this portion of it yet, and this will be key, this arrow right here, to see if we hold this key level of support or if we fall through the bottom. What could be the catalyst for falling through the bottom? Like I said, the other markets, guys. The other markets are key for holding up Bitcoin. If they start falling apart, the SPX, the NASDAQ, the Dow, that can spell really bad news for Bitcoin. But if everything stays relatively the same, I fully expect this to play out. So when people say, are you bullish or bearish? I say, well, we're in accumulation. They say, well, nobody's buying anything. How can we be in accumulation? People are always buying or selling, guys. We're repeating an exact pattern. And what happens is, if some big sellers came into the market right now, if micro strategies or whatever Sailors companies called came in and said they're selling all their Bitcoin, what do you think is going to happen? Obviously, it's going to fall down. This is what you want. You want an equilibrium in the market, because this way, when we do start to get our resistance and do start to roll over, when the buyers, which is the smart money, okay, they consider us dumb money. When the smart money comes into the market, it's easy to boost the price because nobody is selling. Very few people are buying, very few people are selling. You can see it in the volume, which is why you can get the spring, because you can manipulate the price much easier with concentrated buying, and you get this spring up, okay? So this is exactly what we're looking for, and other people on YouTube are petrified because they don't understand the Wyckoff method. So guys, let's go ahead and advance, because not a lot's changed in the price, but just to go over a couple of things. Here's the bigger picture on the weekly time frame. As you guys can see, here's our new candle. It's 8:30 Eastern time here on Sunday. Nothing's really changed, okay? We're still holding our key support, our primary support, are staying up at a higher low, okay, because we don't want to be at a lower low. We're staying up at a higher low from our previous level here. So this is all fine and well, and this is what Bitcoin's supposed to be doing. I know it's boring, I know it's not exciting, but it's following the Wyckoff price cycle. Guys, a couple things I want to show you. I saw some of the comments and people saying, how can you have the Wyckoff price method, but then you have this pattern showing a termination date of May 9th. So when I drew this, guys, it was almost 2 months ago. I drew this when we had the second peak. This date doesn't matter, okay? Just so you understand. I know a lot of people aren't familiar with Fibonacci pattern trading. I had to draw an endpoint somewhere. What matters in Fib patterns is the ratios, okay? The ratios are what matter. So this date can come out as far as we need it to come out, okay? As long as we keep the ratios. What these ratios are doing is they're retracement levels for price action. You're marking key retracement levels for price action, and these patterns have names, and these patterns have PRZs, reversal zones, where price will reverse from, okay? It's all part of Fibonacci pattern trading. So don't pay attention to the May date, has nothing to do with it. Bitcoin could take a year to get down to this number, could never get down to this number. It's just a pattern that's at play, just like the Wyckoff price method, because it's tracking to it, 100% at this point. So this is why I have it. I always keep patterns, guys, that show me upside and downside and where I'm at in that Wyckoff price cycle, okay? So let's go ahead and go through, just look at a couple of our things here. I mean, these are daily candles, so nothing's really changed since the last video. But as you can see, we're just, we're floating. I mean, there's nothing to really report on. As you can see, same thing here, just floating. Let's go to a smaller time frame. This is a 4-hour time frame. See if we're making any patterns or anything. I mean, not a whole lot of interest here. You can see our down thrust here as well, and you can see price came up, found some resistance. Let's look at a couple different things here on resistance. Let's look at our FPK here. Let's look at our volatility of moving average. I mean, everything's going to be on top of us like we talked about, right? I mean, this is just flat. Price is flat. They're waiting for sellers. They're slowly accumulating, not moving price up much at all. You can see it in the volume. The volume went from heavy selling to slightly less selling. I use multiple volume indicators, guys, including for volume spread. Everything is basically flat. I mean, everything's basically flat. So, my time segmented volume here, let me pull this up. When people say nobody's buying, well, I mean, look where we were. Look where we were in the 4-hour time frame for selling. So clearly, some people are buying. It's slow. This is all part of the accumulation. This is all part of the price method, and understanding those steps and the trigger points to look for keeps you in the loop of what price is doing. So holding key support is what we want to do, and that's what we're doing right now. Let's see, ATR volatility is relatively still elevated from the dump. It's going to take some time to come back down. I expect to see a price move when we come back down and test our baseline down here, okay? So when we get ATR to come down, ATR is basically measuring the separation of candles, okay? It's volatility. It's the separation of candles for pumps or dumps. So you get a spike up. This indicator, most people are not using it. It's a fantastic indicator to have it on every single chart. Wells developed it, the guy that developed an indicator that probably most of you use, which is the RSI. This is another one of his inventions, and we all use it in Forex for tracking price explosions and volatility. So ATR, average true range, guys. It's one of the free indicators you can get if you want to play with it and check it out. So I'm looking at the selling curve here. You can see all the selling, and it's slowly flattening out more to an equilibrium. This is all just normal. So not a whole lot, and as far as to show you anything new here, I mean, we'll go ahead and look at a couple of things to see what kind of resistance we're under. Ichi, if we got through the moving averages or not. Yeah, we tried to get up into the moving averages. All this is expected, like I said. Like, none of this is surprising to me. This is all expected. At some point, we're going to come up and we're going to test resistance and we're going to roll over. And then that's the key point. Do we hold our key support and spring up? It doesn't even have to be a spring. It can be strong bullish candles, and that's what we want to look for, okay? So real quick, let's go back to our overlay here. Get rid of all these drawings. Okay, so people were asking me about the measurements of the days here between, how long it took from the down thrust to, from the selling climax candle to the down thrust. We went over that already, but now we have this new candle here, which is a lower down thrust. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at that again really quickly one more time. It may have changed by a day, I think. So let's just check at it, or check it. So let's go to candle before our zero candle, selling climax to our current peak down thrust, 37 bars, and this was 34 bars in the previous cycle. So not as worried about, I mean, it's nothing to worry about, but the timeline, 3 days off, it's not that big of a deal. The pattern and the way that price is moving and the way it's making its key points here is what I'm really focused on. So again, I just want to see this portion of it start to play out, and we could start getting this portion sometime soon. And of course, we're looking at that death cross, the EMA death cross, the 55 and 233. Would make perfect sense if we can get some type of pump coming up as we get the death cross, because then the death cross would happen, and then you get the price rollover from the death cross, just like, once again, like many of you pointed out in the comments over here, for this section, okay? This area over here, got the death cross right up here, we got the price decline, okay? And that led to the explosion up, right? Moving out of phase 4, get strong markup, signs of strength, and we got our last point of support right here, and then another sign of strength, and this is where you're reaccumulating, okay? So this is all what we want to see. And I'm really happy with the way it's developing so far. So guys, just be patient. I know it's Sunday night. I know this is like part of trading where it just grinds you, okay? This is why also it's fun to trade multiple assets, guys. We got trade setups going on in the altcoins. We got trade setups set up for going for this week for the stock market, for Forex, from the metals. We trade everything. So if you're interested in that type of stuff, come check out our room. The link is in the video description. Love to see you guys there. Until tomorrow, my friends, until tomorrow, just keep an eye on Bitcoin. Understand that Wyckoff price cycle. Rewatch some of those videos if you want to get a complete walkthrough again. And I'll try to find some good recommendations for you as well when I have some time, okay? So, all right, guys, happy trading. Talk to you guys tomorrow.